Hello. Hello. Welcome in. Hi, Maya. It's so nice to see you. You did a terrific job reading that article today. Oh my goodness. So Maya is Norwegian, and I'm guessing your first language was Norwegian. And today she got a translation of an article that was written in Norwegian, and she got it translated to English, and she shared it with us on her channel. And I think, number one, that was really brave. Because I was imagining, if I got an article translated into Norwegian and tried to read it, I maybe could do it in Spanish or Italian, but I don't think I could do it in Norwegian because I've never had a single Norwegian class. But I imagine trying to do it even in Spanish, and you did a great job, Maya. And that information was really interesting too. I have found that some of the media I use can resist the ink from the micron sometimes, so I just switch up to a Sharpie marker and it sticks to everything. Kind of excited because I got the confirmation email today that the art supplies that I ordered a few days ago have shipped, so they're on their way. Well, here's the thing. Like, even if it is from, was it 2011? That news of somebody from that organization getting arrested, like that, we haven't heard it and it hasn't been part of the current conversation, so I think it is very interesting. And I think people will be glad to know that sometimes justice works in that way, because we have had a lot of people in the protest movement who have been getting arrested, and it seems like sometimes the things we're protesting against, like, they come out and they do all kinds of nasty things. Like in Portland, one of the Sea Org members came out and he turned a hose and he splashed water onto people, which isn't a big deal, but it is an assault. And he should have at least been cautioned not to behave that way. And there were no consequences to him, so maybe for those still in Scientology who do come out and watch these channels and who do think that they're above the law in the way that they behave towards people who are engaging in their First Amendment right to free speech, maybe they'll think twice before they assault somebody again. because that is something that is dangerous, and it does need to be reduced. We don't need physical conflicts between protesters or um, anybody. I think he was booked, but I have not heard anything about a prosecution going forward on the man who assaulted a protester in Los Angeles. Um, and that was a serious assault with some injuries. Do you recall, Maya? Was that the same fellow that was walking around with the dog and was threatening people using the dog? The same guy who gave Aaron a hard time? Um, yeah, it was in LA and it was in January. And they were on Hollywood Boulevard, and the fella in kind of like a sports team jacket, and he had this dog that looked like a pit bull that he claimed was a service dog, but it seemed to be a dog that belonged to somebody else. Well, he says he's not a Scientologist, but his apparently his lawyer was paid by Scientology, so I'm not one to split hairs. I mean, I don't know really what the difference is between yeah, in my mind, somebody who's being paid by Scientology or given financial recompense is not much difference from someone who is studying Scientology. Um, that I think that sometimes the people who are studying Scientology are actually not out trying to physically harm protesters, but the people who are the agents who are being employed by Scientology, they're definitely trying to instigate physical altercations with people who are exercising their right to free speech. You know, and it's really actually kind of simple to fix. Stop being abusive to people, Scientology, and you want the protests to go away. It's a real simple way to do it. Stop being an abusive cult. Yeah. So this guy with the dog, his name is Patrick Perry, and William Good, whose channel is Streets LA. Um, I want to say 3 or 4 weeks ago on Hollywood Boulevard, this Patrick Perry reached his arm into a car, and the people who were in the car gave him a stabbing in the arm. And an ambulance was called, and he was transported in an ambulance. So there's a lesson. Maybe don't stick your arm in people's car, and you won't get stabbed. But he's certainly not out there acting like a... He's not out in Hollywood acting like a good citizen, getting in that kind of trouble. I did. That is what I said. Hey, Lori. You found our late night chat. Patrick Perry, the guy with the dog who was giving Aaron a hard time. Yeah, in the last month he had reached into a car that was parked at the curb, and the occupants inside the car gave him a stabbing. So William Good happened upon it, and I assume he would have uploaded it to his channel, but I watch William Good's channel every now and again, not like consistently, and it seems like every time I tune into it, there's something just wild going on. I tune in and there's this guy on a stretcher, and I'm like, God, that looks like the guy that was giving Aaron a hard time, and yep, that was him. It just makes me think, oh, karma. Hi. Well, you know how it goes, Barbara. It's like, I can't resist a quiet hour. And I love a late night chat. It's um there's something really different about the late night chats compared to the daytime chats, especially when we're just like, there's nothing really exciting going on. It's all nice and calm, and we can just talk about whatever. Yeah, I had been doing kind of a Friday afternoon panel that just seemed to fall through today for some reason I don't understand. And I'm sure there's something going on behind the scenes with somebody who has been causing me some mischief, and you know what? I don't want any part of it. So I was all set up for that, and then, yeah, I didn't really get a heads up. I just didn't get a link, and nobody really explained why, so. That's fine. I will just be over here doing my small channel thing and enjoying small channel life. Barbara, what do you mean? Barbara says she's bad at alcohol inks. Tell us what you're trying to do with them, and what does that mean? Because my my experience with alcohol inks is I make big splotches, and I'm not sure how you can go wrong with splotches, because if you look at it and go, wow, that's splotchy. Okay, kind of what we were aiming for. I don't know. So it's been really wild weather out here. Um, we have a state fair at the end of August that runs into the first weekend of September. And my grandfather was a farmer, and he would always say, the state fair, we would always have rain during the state fair almost every year. And it goes like over 2 weekends and then the week in between. And it's just something in this area where we just go, well, it's state fair time. Oh, there'll be rain. And this year, no rain. And then the first week of September, we almost always will have rain. It's traditionally when public school kids go back to school the first week of September. And in the last 3 days, we've had some of the schools up in the northern part of Oregon close early because the temperatures have been around 100 degrees. And then tonight, a couple hours ago, I heard some thunder, and there was a bit of a rain squall that came through and kind of slapped the roof a little bit. But I don't know what it's doing where you guys are, but the temperatures here are they're just crazy. Edmonton. Oh, you're in Edmonton. Cool. Of course, with metallics. Oh, that's cool. Barbara says she's working with some metallic inks. Hey, Barbara, do you have yeah, you've got a channel. Maya, I always forget to say this. Maya, post a link to your channel. Please post a link to everybody's channel. 70. Gosh, you're really at a northern latitude, so that probably feels very warm. Oh. Let's see, what have I been up to? All right, mini art show. I made another one of those little books. This one doesn't have as many pages, but this was from a piece of paper that I've had kicking around for a couple of years, and I thought, oh, I don't know what to do with it. So I made another little booklet, and that was, the pattern was made with some spray. What do they call them? Like glimmer mist, Tattered Angels glimmer mist, and they seem to be like a diluted dye-based ink with some metallic glitter that rubs off on everything. But still, I love, Barbara, you said glitter, and I thought, oh yeah, I got into the glitter paint. These guys are so sparkly. So I was a little bored with the same old crayons, and I have some new paints coming, and of course, like, I'm very, very eager to see those get here, but they're not here yet, so there we are. Can you see that shimmer a little bit? So I don't know whether the Micron pen, sometimes if you are trying to outline over glitter paint, the glitter can come up and kind of clog the pen. But I have a new set of pens coming, and the ones I'm working with now, are almost out of, ooh, that one. They're almost out of ink, so, but when they get almost dried out, then I'm more willing to use them experimentally, and, if they're sort of slowing down, I don't worry too much about clogging. Okay, no worries, Maya. If you can, you can. That's terrific. And if you're just here to enjoy it, I love that just as much. So, anyway, yeah, I've just got a whole handful of blanks that are, look at all of these. We're going to have so much fun drawing pebbles on these things. And I think, oh, this is a new one that's, it looks kind of washed out to me. I don't know if you guys have any feedback on that, but I did put a little bit of glitter paint on it, just something different. So I found it was in a bit of a blue-green rut, which, what colors do I like? Oh, I might like blues and greens. And then Maya, I was inspired by your trees. We're gonna have to do another panel, and I'd like you to show me how you do your trees, because that was a lot of fun. But I had the wash down, and when it dried, it really just faded to nothing. So I think I need to actually get into my tube or pan watercolors instead of just using the pastel crayons. I like the color though, but I love the one you did for, I believe it's for a Christmas card. Yay. It's okay, Maya, don't worry about it. Let's see if I can. See, I will try a second here and see if I can. What does it do? Well, it gives me a menu to put you in timeout or hide you, and I just don't want to do that at all. Okay, well, we tried links. We would if we could. It's okay, we have good company. With a compass and an ink pen. Okay, what kind of a pen, Barbara? Tell us more. Like a drafting kind of a pen? Like the technical pens, I think they're called? Or like a... only if it's not an imposition. Only if it's fun. I don't want to make you work. Alrighty, if you can, we will be grateful to have them. And if you can't, we will be just as happy. It is Friday night or early Saturday morning in our part of the world. I think if somebody pops in from Australia, they can tell us what day it is there. But I was like, is it Saturday or Sunday? They're always a bit ahead of us. Nice. Nice. So is the ink that came with it permanent ink? Barbara says she's got a new drafting pen that she can use with masking fluid, and she can draft perfect circles, which... There's something very satisfying about drafting, or using even just using a ruler to make a straight line. I can't figure out why this pen won't make a very big line, and it's because it's the very narrow pen. That is one thing about these Micron pens, is the only difference between the size of them is just this number, and I wish they would make the barrel different or make a bigger distinction instead of having it look so uniform, because I'm just continually picking up the wrong pen, and then my eye doesn't always detect it, but when I take a picture and I look at the photograph, I'll see that part of the pebbles are just much more faint in the image. It's not as detectable to the naked eye, but it makes for a photograph that's not super. The drafting pens usually have a reservoir in them, so you can fill them with a particular type of ink. A dip pen just has a nib attached to a pen holder, and a technical pen is more like a fountain pen, but the ends of them tend to have, they're a little bit like this type of a pen, and there's a little, like a ball in it, and they work really well, held kind of in a 90-degree angle to the paper, but you can use different types of ink in them. And they can be a little tricky to get used to, but once you get the hang of them, you can make lines with a beautiful quality. So it's worth taking some time to practice and get a little bit of skill with them. I gotta tell you guys, I really adore art supply show and tell segments of our programs. Oh, I've been seeing those. Barbara says that she loves the glass dip pens and she likes to use them with fluid acrylics, watercolors, and inks. And nice. Embellishing. I'm an embellisher. I am, yeah, one of my cousins, when I show her my artwork, she goes, well, you gembellished it again. Yeah, but those glass dip pens have been showing up, and the ones that are blown glass that you can really dip into the ink, and then they've got kind of twists in the glass, and they just seem to flow the ink right down onto the paper so beautifully. I've seen them in art supply stores, and I've resisted buying them, but you'll have to let us know. If it's super fun, I might have to go find one and give it a try. Yeah, the other thing that's been coming up on my feed recently is the fluid watercolors, the Dr. P.H. Martin's ones. And, of course, anything that puts an intense color on the page just is right up my alley. And you guys who have been around know I've been working in quite a few neutral palettes, but it might be kind of fun to try something in intense saturated colors. And maybe do a few more florals. I haven't done any florals in a couple, 3 weeks, so. Starting to have an itch to draw some flowers. Yeah, the video I was looking at on those fluid watercolors said that he was trying to dilute them down and they just, um, they really, you just use like one little droplet of the fluid watercolor and it looked like he was having a hard time getting a delicate wash. It just kind of gave a big swash of intense saturated color. Randy Rabbit, hello. Um, just realized there was quite a bit of chat. Um, yeah, Lori, you know what? I am not. I have to work at it to do much drawing. Maya's got a knack for her sketching is just so realistic. I really admire it. Um, I've done art for a long time, but I just use sketches as preparatory work, and I was a printmaker for many years. And you start with a sketch and then you refine it and you work on to make your stencils for screen printing. I did serigraphs that were done with silk screen printing mostly, and some etchings. So you do have to have a feel for line, but most of my drawings would have the basic sketch and then they would have lots of corrections, and then you would work to a final version of it. I never really drew just for the sake of drawing. And in classes, there would be people who were drawing was just their jam. They never wanted to move on to painting. They just would work in charcoal or pencil. And as a young artist, I just kind of thought, well, what are you going to do with that? Are you going to refine it and keep going? And it wasn't probably till about maybe 10 years ago that I started to turn my attention to improving my drawing. So it is, boy, sorry, I apologize. I'm full of uhs today. Drawing is certainly a skill that that, that comes along with a little bit of practice, and if you work at it, especially if you stay with the same topic and just, in the way that Vincent van Gogh, he worked with a vase of sunflowers and he painted many, many paintings of sunflowers. Hey, Tip 420, welcome in. Lori says she doodles until she sees a shape. I love that. That is, so good for your, it's just good for you to take a little time and just doodle. I guess we're in it with the ums, but it helps to calm you and to center you, and that improves your health, lowers your blood pressure. Anytime you can just take a step down and get a little quieter, get a little calmer. So I am all for doodling. It's absolutely legitimate. What's new with you, Tiff? It's nice to see you in. It's nice to see everybody in. I love it. When I was thinking about doing a channel, I thought, I, I'm not super motivated to. You can tell by the quality of this. This is not. This is not the jam. What I'm doing in front of the camera and the camera itself, not my jam. It's only going to improve as we go. But what I love about YouTube is I love the chats and I love the comments and the conversations and the connections that people make. Collage paper? Randy, tell us more. I love that. Coffee. Yeah, what time zone are you in, Randy? You East Coast? Is that what I saw earlier? Yeah, I've really enjoyed some of the chats in our community, but they can be frustrating, and there have been times where I've just thought I would do it differently, and then message that it needs to cool down. So I just oh, sorry guys, it was the phone overheated. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I was just telling you guys, I said, oh, I think I might lose the stream because the phone just gave me a message, and just adjusted things. So now we've got a cool stream of air coming up here, and hopefully that will keep us chill enough that we don't disconnect again. Well, what's a what's a live stream without some technical difficulties, right? Yeah. Oh, guys, thanks for hanging in here. fortunately, there is a, like, the biggest vent in my place, like it's a big square one, is right beside the table. So, um, I can get a nice cool blast of air pretty easily. I'm discombobulated. Yes, Maya. Um, Maya says I should get a little fan to put on the phone, and definitely. Yeah, you guys are talking about posting some art, and I will say, oh, Randy, it literally takes like 2 square feet to be able to set up. If you're not trying to do a real fancy, I mean, if you just do bare bones, that's kind of what I've got. I've actually got a tripod kind of jerry rigged onto my easel, and I'm using that to support the phone, and also I've got some clamp lights clamped to it and directed down onto the work surface, so it's really low tech. Um, and you guys, I don't know if Barbara, I don't know if you have ever done community posts, but uploading community posts is it's just as simple as uploading stuff to Instagram. And um, Timu, oh Maya, yeah. Anyway, until you get set up with a live stream, like just throw up some stills on your community post, and um, you don't get like watch hour credits, or you don't get any credit for community posts here on YouTube. But I will tell you what you do get out of that, and that is comments. And people are really awesome about coming in the comments and just telling you things that are really encouraging. So I think it's pretty common with most artists that a lot of us, we don't get a whole lot of validation. And man, I can't remember the last time I even saw an opportunity to show art. The internet has really just taken over art shows, taken the place of them. And back when I used to show my art and or sell it in galleries, you'd get you'd get some comments and some feedback, and that always helps fuel. I find it helps fuel me to do more creative work. Yeah, so I try to, when I complete drawings, or when I know I'm gonna do a live stream, or if I've just uploaded a live stream, I'm I probably should expand this and do shorts to publicize the live streams. But what I have been pretty consistent about is to do a community post, and I don't always get comments on. Well, I will say I do get comments on lives, and I really appreciate them. But I get consistent good feedback to stuff that I post on the community page. And first, when you're viewing the things on the community page, you can zoom out and the quality of the image you can upload is nice and crisp. Whereas sometimes the quality of these live streams, when they go to upload, they seem okay while I'm streaming, but the replay quality is just suffers. Yeah, so yeah, you don't have to just create videos and shorts. But I've done a handful of shorts, and I've had a couple of them that I had one last week that went like 750, 800 views, which was a real surprise. You have to get 3 million views in a year, so 700 isn't anything. You know, if you're working towards getting monetized or being able to have memberships and super chats, and which I haven't really thought a lot about. I guess I kind of fell into it because it seems like that's what we're supposed to be doing here on YouTube, is working towards becoming monetized. But then again, I think that would just end up giving you guys ads to have to watch, so maybe I shouldn't be so focused on reaching that goal. Randy, yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at too. Okay, to do the community page, if you look at the bottom of your screen when you're just in not watching a video but just in regular YouTube mode, there's a little kind of an X, and if you hit that, it'll give you options, including shorts, videos. Probably not live if you don't have 50 you have to have 50 subscribers before YouTube lets you go live. And then clear to the right hand side is community post. And if you click on that, then it'll ask you to access your media, and you can either let it access everything or you can select the images to access. And you need to do all of your photo editing before you get into YouTube, because there's very few tools. I think there's a couple of filters, and you can also add some text to your image, but it doesn't really have an editing suite the way Instagram does. So crop your image, do your adjustments before, and then you can upload, I think it's at least like 5 images in any community post. And it's very easy. The next page, you scroll through and you can write text and add your hashtags. And I will say, do add at least hashtag art, hashtag drawing. It really makes a difference, and it pulls in a lot of people that will be interested in seeing what you're working on. And then once it's uploaded your image, it'll just give you a post button. It's really it's very user friendly, I thought. Oh my goodness, chat's just... Oh, memberships, Tiff. Yeah. I think I kind of got sucked into the idea of building because I wanted to be able to do these live casts, and you have to get 50 subscribers. So that is sort of sucks you into this idea of more subscribers, more watch hours. And then the analytics come up and they say, "Oh, you only need this many, you only need 3,000 more hours before you to the next level." And I guess I just I just was thinking, maybe that's how I got involved in a high demand religion. Oh, just do this one thing. Oh, then do this other thing. Next thing you know, you've joined the cult of YouTube live streaming. So, what? I'm supposed to do something next? Oh, okay. I'm not gullible at all. I'm completely gullible. That's how I got sucked into Army ROTC. Spent a summer of fun and sun in Kentucky. I do not use StreamYard, but Maya uses StreamYard. And so when I will, when Maya invites me to join her on a panel and do art together, I've used the link for StreamYard. Yeah. Barbara, way to go. Just because we keep sneaking your link up and because you're always nice to people in chat, and why wouldn't they want to subscribe to you? And good job, by the way. So I've had people telling me about StreamYard, Restream, Prism, all kinds of different programs, and I pay for YouTube Premium, so I was feeling like, like it's $14 a month, and I have to get my money's worth out of it. So I was just determined that I would learn my way around YouTube live streaming before I went out, because I know myself that I would get in and they always tell you, well, there's this free program, and with StreamYard, I believe you get 25 hours of streaming free per month. And my immediate thought was, okay, yeah, what is that? 6 hours and 15 minutes a week, and my live streams will sometimes run a couple hours. So that's going to limit me to 3 or 4 live streams. And do I want to do more? And I could see how I would really quickly run up into the against that 25 hours. And there you are at the end of the month, and you've got a video, and you've got a group of people who are they're showing up, and you want to be able to show up. And I thought, oh, it'll take me 2 months before I'm laying out money for StreamYard. So also, you like all the bells and whistles that you get with the paid part of the app. So I just knew myself, and I thought, oh, I'm going to resist doing StreamYard for a while until I see just, I kind of look at it like I want to see what the limits are with YouTube. And one of the things I'll say, you guys can give me some feedback on this, but part of it's my camera and my phone, and part of it is YouTube. That I don't think the quality of the stream has the clarity that I want, particularly when I'm in the vertical format. I think it's a little bit better in the horizontal format, but that and the processing that YouTube takes after we close the live and we go to the uploading portion. I had a fairly short video the other day, and it took like 12 hours to process. I don't know what was going on with YouTube. So I don't know if What I don't know is if there's still some YouTube processing that comes if you're using StreamYard. Wouldn't surprise me if there was. But hopefully all that processing happens in StreamYard. I don't know. But since I am, like I said, I'm paying for the YouTube premium, I just want to get all my money's worth out of it before I go on to spending money for a streaming platform. And then also I hoped that people would enjoy it and that people would tune in, but I didn't know if I would just be kind of, screaming into the void with this. But it turns out that every time I've gone live streaming, people have tuned in, and it's often people that like you guys that I know. So I love that. And then a few nights, it's been other folks who just really like art, and they've said they enjoy watching the pebble tracing, and I've had some subscribers, so that's really terrific too. So I'm still kind of, feeling like a definite beginner, but I get so encouraged when folks want to spend some time here. It just means the world to me. And anytime I can just encourage people to do creative work, that is very meaningful for me too. So do you like it, Randy? Randy says they use only familiar with using StreamYard. Not into it that much. Okay. Tiff, Tiff says she's had some tough health issues this year, and the art is helping her heal. Boy, this year has just, it has just kicked my butt, health-wise. Yeah, I had 6 stents put in my heart in March, and the doctor said that it was kind of hard to hear, but he said we cannot, where you're at now, we can't really extend your life expectancy. We can make the time that you do have better. And that was in March. And like I said, they put 6 stents in. And I went back through cardiac rehab again and did not do as well as I have the other times I've had to go through cardiac rehab, so that was kind of discouraging. And I had been following the Aaron's channel and some of the Scientology protest stuff, and I don't know, you kind of have to dig down and decide what you're going to spend your time doing, what's going to be meaningful. And I decided that I did want to spend some of my energy, what I have left, doing art and also supporting the work to educate people about high demand religions and cults, and to hopefully, my hope is that we can reach young people and educate them about these things, and so that they don't go through the sorts of experiences that I went through as a young person. It it impacted it still impacts my life today, and it's stuff that I went through in my early 20s, and now I'm in my early 60s, and it just is so destructive. And I don't know that we can dismantle Scientology, but I do know that we can let young people know about high demand religions. They have access to the internet, they have access to information like Steve Hassan's book, and he's written actually more than one book, but he's the author who was in the Moonies as a young person. And back in the 80s, when we still kidnapped people and deprogrammed them out of cults, his parents hired somebody to bodily take him and deprogram him, and he was in really deep. So I think he comes from a really interesting place, and he's made his life's work to learn about these high demand groups. And if you Google BITE model, BITE, that's Steve Hassan's work. And the BITE model is just it's a way to look at the ways that a group influences people, and to assess whether or not it might be a cult. And if I recall correctly, it looks at each of the letters stands for a particular scale of ways that a group might be controlling, and B is for behavior. So if the group is got a lot of rules and restrictions about your behavior, the I is for information. So a group that controls the information and the source of the information. For example, if it says, well, you can read anything so long as it's from Bridge Publications, or maybe Deseret Industries, or maybe the Watchtower Society. So if they're controlling the information, if they control your thinking, and that could be something like the training routines, right? Or it could be this concept that, oh, it's okay if you have doubts. Everybody has doubts. You're not going to know the answer to that. And don't think about it. Just put that doubt on a shelf. Just put it on a shelf. You'll come across something in the future that'll make that clear to you. But for now, don't worry about it. Don't think about it. So if they control your thinking, okay, maybe it's somebody who leaves an org and somebody is standing outside and they say, what books can you read, right? And your training routine tells you to repeat a phrase so that you don't engage with the conversation. That's a thought control technique. And the E stands for emotion. And Scientology has a lot of emotional controls, a lot of the things that they're trying to use their auditing process to flatten a button. That is a way that Scientology is training people to control their emotions. So yeah, don't let it get to you. Yeah, do this. Yeah, don't experience grief. Walk around and touch things until you are, till you're disconnected. You know, touch this tree, touch this plant, touch this wall. Um, so if you find yourself in a group and you are being taught to restrict yourself in these 4 areas, that's when you should ask yourself, am I being controlled and unduly influenced in a high control group? You know, is it taking lots of my time? Is it restricting the sources of information? So there's a lot of different high control groups we can fall into. And these days it could be anything from like a sales, multi-level marketing, is that what they're called? The sales groups where you're selling. I just remember, 30 years ago when you just had to worry about Amway, Tupperware, and Avon. But a lot of these sales opportunities have really expanded. And folks can find themselves spending a lot of their own resources to make somebody up that pyramid wealthy and make themselves broke. But I will say, I fell into something like that. Probably more than one something along the way. And we can fall into them because, oh, golly, I thought the chat had stopped. Oh, Barbara, I'm so glad you're getting better. Yeah, six stents. Barbara, your hubby is a heart stent salesperson? Well, I need a punch card. I've almost earned my way to a free one. Thank you, Tiff. Yeah, I kept looking up and it looked like the chat had stalled out. And sorry about that, you guys. Oh, Lori. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for chatting. It's lovely to see you. Work stuff. Hopefully, it's not a stinky truck. Hmm. You know who I haven't seen in here in ages is Fiona, so I know she catches it on replay, so I just want to say, Fiona, if you're watching on replay, we think of you. Hope you're doing well. Oh, Maya. I hope he's okay. Well, Maya is spending some time with her lovely dog, Sander. He's so cute. Mm. Oh. Veterinary care is not inexpensive, for sure. Well, I am feeling like this drawing is really close to being finished up, so we could certainly wrap up this live stream and get on with our coffee or our it's kind of go to sleep time out where I'm at, and I thought, oh, it's Friday night, I'll goof off and stay up a bit late and get a live stream started and just see who wants to show up and hang out. So it's just been lovely to talk with everybody and spend some time with y'all making art. So let's call it a live stream. We're almost at an hour and a half. Thanks everybody for coming in. Thank you, Maya. As always, you just I appreciate your work, dropping the links and being a moderator. And thank you everybody for chatting. Thanks for the art talk. Thanks for the heart talk. Thanks for the cult talk even. Everybody have a lovely weekend. Thank you, Tiff, for coming in. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, everybody who was hanging out there quietly. I hope you pick up a pen or a pencil or a brush or a lump of clay and find some time to be creative. I just know you've got it in you. Thanks, everybody, for coming in. Have a good one. Bye. Good morning. Good day.